Ladies and gents, I have never been a fan of flying on an airplane. And with what's going on now in the news, all these aviation incidents has really gotten me nervous. Although I don't fly much, like I said, and if you hear some slight snoring, that's my dog sleeping next to me on the couch, and I'm not really gonna move her to record this video, or I wait for a different time. I'm kind of inspired to record this video now, although I've been contemplating to put it together for a few days. But yeah, this has definitely been a topic I've been following. Uh, I would just call it the downfall of the aviation industry, the downfall of air flight safety, the downfall of just flying on an airplane and international travel. That's what we seem to be seeing here. Um, there is, as I'm looking at news articles on this, and even chatting to ChatGPT and Microsoft Copilot, I seem to notice an effort to, calm the population, and a lot of reminders that, apparently flying on an airplane is still the safest way to fly. I'm not sure I agree with that. Um, the funny thing is, just looking for a total, a number, a consolidated number of incidents and casualties from the different incidents we've had in 2025 is very difficult to come across. I was thinking about putting together a spreadsheet, but honestly, I don't have time for that right now. So I used ChatGPT, for example, to try and get that information. And first, I asked him this prompt. I asked ChatGPT this prompt: Can you tell me how many aviation incidents have happened in North America in 2025? And so you get from ChatGPT 80 aviation incidents. They note these four or five rather serious ones, all having to do with casualties, which makes sense. And so ChatGPT doesn't tell you anything about or doesn't remind you that air travel is still the safest way to fly. But they are mentioning that confidence has decreased from 71%. People used to say that flying is very or somewhat safe. 71% of people used to say that. Now it's 64. That's a significant drop, and makes sense, right? Based on just the craziness we're seeing. A lot of mid-air collisions, a lot of, the most recent one in Toronto. I don't know if it's listed here. Oh, it's here, I guess. It wasn't non-significant. This one had no fatalities, but it was an airplane that flipped over. Just some crazy stuff happening. And I'm just really focusing on North America. I could try asking perhaps these questions to ChatGPT to see what they say. Let's actually just copy our first prompt and edit it for the question, because that will save me some time. So we're asking it now, instead of focusing on North America, we're asking globally, and the number has risen to 87 incidents Okay, so it's still telling me about the United States, and it's strange that it has increased to 87. I don't know if that happened in the last hour when I was looking up this information. Probably not. But let's see. Look at that. Okay, there's a decrease apparently since last year. I don't know if that's I mean, if that's the case, why are people so nervous about all this stuff? So, Bureau of Aircraft Incident Archives, B3A. Okay. They say there's been 89 incidents worldwide as of yesterday. Let's just have a quick glance at this source here. I mean, what is all this stuff? Yeah, I'm not sure. This is a huge list, this huge page of information. Okay, so from this list, we see 89, 87 and 89 compared to 2024, 416 and 30, right? So we're already ahead on that second column, which is number of incidents, and deaths were way low. But I mean, if we keep going on this average, yeah, we're probably gonna go, if not match that, we're gonna go over that. And I'm not sure, going back to that note here, if we already have 89 incidents here and only 30 last year, how is this? No, I'm sorry. I think I got that from ChatGPT, right? Okay, so it says here, this marks the decrease compared to the same period in 2024. I mean, how is that correct? I mean, this is another thing, you can't really get consistency in information. Uh, it's just such a mess. How can you say that there's been a decrease compared to the same period in 2024? And then when you look at this page, um, which is really just a Wikipedia page, I suppose it doesn't. I mean, what is there something on this here? Yeah, so this is the Bureau of Air. I wonder if they have it maybe more live, but I mean, it doesn't matter because 2024 is done. That's the total they've counted, and we're already at 89. So how can that that be correct? That this time last year we had we had more? No. Yeah, this is right here just a crap statement. Um, so yeah, going back, I mean, it's been crazy. I suppose really in North America most. I mean, we're probably not getting all the reports. I'm sure there's a lot of chartered flights from other countries that maybe there's just don't go on the news or isn't translated to English, and isn't part of that list. Uh, I pulled this up as well. It says U.S. aviation sector calls for emergency funding for air traffic technology and staffing. Right. So it's not just a staffing issue. We're hearing like between 3,000 and 4,000. Here it says 3,500 controllers short of their targeted staffing levels. So looks like they also need some new tech. They're probably running some old systems, which is typical for government. They usually just run legacy systems. I mean, they're very expensive to implement and expensive to maintain, I would imagine. So it's not something that changes often, I would think. So part of the problem is they're probably running a very old system that's clunky. maybe they can do better, right? But here's, I mean, there's not much information on this article, but I was just looking at the layoffs. This is an article about the crash. Um, the most recent one. I mean, it's really concerning to me. I think so. That's about it. I didn't really have any other news articles to look at apart from this one. I mean, people are anxious. I mean, it's just because you hear about it, you can't get reliable information online. There's a lot of distrust with institutions and the information we get. I can understand like a few discrepancies, but it's just crazy. I mean, even if you look at the information you get from ChatGPT, it's giving you different numbers. It's looking like it's between 80 and 87 now, and now it's going to say 89 worldwide. Um, it's going to list these, different um, notable incidents, but large. If we're talking about 89, we're really not hearing a large vast majority of these, which are probably minor incidents, given they're not noted here. I mean, that's something we can assume, but we're just not seeing them, right? And I just wanted to before I end this, just give a look at how Copilot gives you the information. I noticed Copilot's a lot more, censored than ChatGPT or DeepSeek. Um, I mean, depending. I mean, if we're talking about censored in terms of like Communist Party of China, DeepSeek's probably more censored in that sense. But um, going back to this here, I asked pretty much the same questions, and um, you get a lot less. Here they say there's okay. So where does it give me the total here? Okay. So it says there's been 62 aviation incidents in January and 25 in February. Okay, so this one gives me 87. I actually misinterpreted this at first. So that is kind of in line with what ChatGPT is saying. So I'm happy to see that there's some sanity in the world at least. So I got 87 from that, and I think I got 87 here as well. Just have a quick look. Yep, approximately 87. But that's a lot. The way I see it, that's a lot. I want to look at that list again of aviation incidents. Let's see what number we get there. I mean, this could all be from the same source as well. This one says 89. Oh no, those are the casualties. These are the incidents, so it's also 87. So I think that's the official number we have as of right now. 87 incidents in North America and 89 globally. So we could just say around 87, 89 globally. To me, that sounds pretty wild. And like I said, I've never been a fan of flying on airplanes. I've always been, a nervous guy, and when it comes to that, and I think it's more of just being in a place where you can't escape or exit the vicinity. Once you're in an airplane, you can't get out, right? So I just don't like that. I don't mind being in like a movie house if I know there are exits. If I could get out anytime. It's another thing if they lock the doors or for some reason, which I can't even imagine that kind of scenario in the normal world. But yeah, this doesn't help me if I ever have to take a flight. I mean, I've only flown maybe 8 times. I think I was counting this before, and I came to the number 8. Less than 10 times in my life. So, and that's because I really don't like getting on an airplane. Maybe could have fly to a few more places if that wasn't the case, but certainly flying. My fear for flying and being in enclosed spaces has prevented me from taking some flights. And I gotta say, this is also gonna prevent me. I mean, yeah, I can imagine some scenarios where, I'll get on an airplane if maybe there's all out war across Europe, and you know I have no plans of fighting for any nationality, so I think I'm gonna bounce. And if that's the case, like, yeah, I'll probably get on an airplane or a boat. We'll see. But yeah, people, this is what's going on. Let me know your thoughts on this situation. I mean, if you're one of those people who have been bothered just by this craziness, um, here's the note I was referring to. Here. No, it's not, it's actually not there. It's on the second one where they mention. No, sorry, we're still looking at ChatGPT. Sorry about that. But it's important to remember that flying remains one of the safest modes of transportation overall. Okay, let's just ask this Copilot something. So is flying safer than riding a typical city underground metro? Let's try this. Let's see what good old chat says. Okay, yes, flying is generally safer than riding a typical city underground metro. While both modes of transportation are considered safe, aviation has a lower fatality rate compared to urban metros. Really? For example, underground, one of the safest metro systems, has a fatality rate of only one fatal accident per 300 million journeys. In contrast, aviation accidents, although less frequent, can result in a higher number of fatalities when they do occur. Okay, we're talking about incidents. So, 300 million journeys. I don't think there's 300 million flights a year. Can there be 300 million flights? There's 365 days a year, so there's probably not 1 million flights a day, right? That sounds like a bit too much. However, it's important to note that both systems have implemented newer safety. I mean, you're not really telling me how aviation is safer than metros. Let's ask, how many flights are there in a year? Wow, so there was, yeah. So there's been, yeah, 38.7 million flights a year. Okay. So that was 2024. If we look at the incidents in 2024, right? They say there was 30 incidents. Okay, so I don't know if the calculator is going to help me here, but okay, so my video just cut there. I'm not sure what caused it to cut. This isn't the first time this has happened recording a video. But yeah, I'm really just using some built-in free tools here. But anyway, as we concluded, yeah, definitely not correct to say that flying is safer than riding a metro. And I got Microsoft Copilot to to concur. So, yeah, flying isn't the safest mode of transport. Riding a metro is safer. I would say riding a boat is probably safer if you're talking about like, I don't know, like they have certain boats that you could go from, one side of a bridge to another. For example, if your city has that, there's one in Sydney. I think there's another one in Hong Kong. Um, those I never hear of those sinking. So I mean, that's probably a safer mode of transport. I could imagine other, you know, perhaps less popular modes. Sure, driving is probably dangerous, and then you could break that down into the different vehicles. Um, but yeah, it's not even March. February is not even finished, and it's looking like a really bad year for aviation. And um, as I was saying, I typically don't like getting on airplanes anyways, so this isn't gonna help me. I hope there's no reason I have to force myself to get on an airplane. Um, but yeah, folks, if you're suffering from this, please let me know. Suffering from this kind of like, you know, anxiety from this stuff, and or just bothered by it. For me, I wouldn't say I'm anxious from it at all, given that I don't have any planned international trips or any reason to get on an airplane in the foreseeable future. But um, yeah, it's definitely something I don't like to see. Um, I do have a larger theory about what's going on in the world right now. We're looking at one side of things, one sort of area, right, which is aviation, air travel. We're looking at air safety. We can look at other things too, right? I've been going through a lot of, uh, been spending a lot of time basically in clinics, hospitals, talking to doctors, getting scans done. Uh, I mentioned in my last video, I'm off work. I'm still off work now for health reasons. So, with that said, I mean, I'm definitely frustrated with my experience. I have access to private and public healthcare. So, and I'm gonna tie this all together. Um, my basic conclusion is, yeah, I'm getting medical attention, and there are some things I'm really lucky to have access to for sure, but it's definitely a broken system what we have here. And the healthcare system in Spain is known as, it's renowned. A lot of people, look up to the system we have here, and um, having experienced it a lot, having had to use it a lot, I would say it's a disaster, at least from my experience. And I've been out of work for almost 2 months, and I've had hardly any treatment. Um, I'm only now getting my first physiotherapy sessions done for the injuries I have. And well, for one injury actually, I'm not even supposed to be talking to the physio about other injuries. I have like four altogether, right? But um, yeah, my basic conclusion is, as a human being, you probably can't get proper health care. You would be lucky to be able to get proper competent health care. Um, you might get what appears to be that in fancy high-tech facilities, talking to decorated doctors, but at the end of the day, nobody's really going to even ask you anything specific about what's going on, right? Uh, it's just very robotic and non-personalized. So, um, and if that's what I'm experiencing here, and there's a whole host of other things, really, really serious and large societal problems that are going on with healthcare. We know about what happened to the United Healthcare CEO, right? And that's not an isolated incident. Just a result of like a broken system, not just there, but over here as well. And that's not to speak of other countries like where I was born in the Philippines. It's even worse. And there's a saying that getting sick is essentially bankruptcy and death in the Philippines. It's over. If you get seriously ill, you're pretty much if you're not mega rich over there, say goodbye to everything you've ever worked for. It's going to that, um, if any, if it's even enough. Um, and they're more than happy to leave you on a cot over there and just die if you don't have the money, or even throw you out. You know, that's what you have there. And yeah, the aviation problems we're seeing, the healthcare issues across different countries, the wars, um, the outrageous international things that are happening with the new U.S. Presidency with Trump. We're really headed to this phase in society where I believe things are just too dysfunctional at the core. Nothing works, and this is the breaking point. We're seeing things like healthcare, people not being able, despite having access to apparently one of the best healthcare systems in the world in Spain, um, private and public healthcare, and still pretty much not getting anything from it 2 months into an injury. Um, you have this crazy amount of incidents. You have what seems to be just a disregard for international law, for even even local law. Um, for example, in Romania, you have the president just they had a president elected, and they just decided, you know what, you're a bit too friendly with Putin, and we all hate Putin right now, so you're not going to be president even though you were elected. So the powers that be did it that way. So you know nobody even cares about democracy. Um, it's really blatant and just power based society that we live in now. There's no laws. Laws is just a tool now. If it can be, um, if you have it seems like if you have an opponent or someone that, you know, is threatening you, if you're powerful enough, you might have, some law counsel, you might have some connections within the police force, or, I don't know, some kind of government body, right, that will allow you access to using the law to take out your enemies, right, or to stifle your enemies. And we definitely see that happening. Um, the whole idea is just a normal, simple man, and the law is there to protect you, and you should trust in it. That's really a scam at this stage. Everything's so corrupt and bought. So, um, yeah, it's about power. It's about money now. Um, and we could go back to this whole the topic of this video. I would say the problem is people don't want to pay for things like technology, so that a government, a very important government organization like the FAA in the United States, people don't want to pay for a technology upgrade so that it can be safe and operational. Um, they rather cut jobs, you know, they rather cost cut, hire people for less qualified people, replace jobs with computer systems which they don't even want to upgrade. Um, and this is what you get, right? So people don't want to spend money on the things that make people safe, staffing and technology that make people safe. Yet somehow, nobody's accountable. You know, the nobody's accountable for things anymore. COVID just happened. There's a lot of questionable things about that. Yet we're just nobody's really being held accountable for any of that stuff. And yeah, I don't want to digress deeper into this. I guess going back, the point was, this whole string of aviation incidents that we're seeing, mid-air collisions and all that. It's just a, I guess, a sign of, or maybe a symptom of a larger problem, right? That's the point. So would really appreciate any feedback you have on this idea. Let me know what you think about what's going on in the air travel industry. Let me know what you think is going to happen in the future for it. Would love your thoughts on that. Please subscribe to the channel, please read the description and check out my other channel if you like the game. Yeah, and hope you're enjoying life wherever you are, whatever you're doing right now. Peace. Bye bye.